Helbrute! But is he really from hell? Oh! Saved by Slaanesh. Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, another Saved by Slaanesh episode, and in this one I want to have a chat about the Helbrute. Before that though, if you would like to keep up to date with the wonders of Warhammer 40k, then please give me a sub and hit the bell button so you don't miss an upload. Okay, so today I want to talk about the Chaos Helbrute. Now, I have a big collection of models that I've either been given or I've won for this new Emperor's Children army of mine. And in that collection were 4 Helbrutes. Now, I have traded one of those Helbrutes, but I am still left with 3 of them. So I really like the look of the Helbrute model, and I think it's going to match in quite well with the theme of my army, which is basically noise marines, and I'm going to have some possessed, and they're all going to be male, and then all of my demonettes and the demons and the demon prince, etc., they're all going to be female. And my vision is that the demons are controlling the Chaos Space Marines. I think the Helbrute, the model, the way it looks, could sort of fit into that quite well, because it's like a Dreadnought which is basically possessed by demons, and I think it's going to look quite nice and thematic and work with the army. And of course I'm going to convert them up. I'm going to do tentacles and use some chains, maybe some organ pipes on there, all that stuff. So I can't wait to get working on them. However, I've had a look in the entry in the Codex, and I came across something which really surprised me. So as you've probably worked out from this series of videos, I am not really a Chaos buff. In actual fact, although I've been in the hobby for quite some time, I don't really know a great deal about Chaos. Please forgive me, Slaanesh. But when I first started playing this fantastic game of ours, I was up against my buddy who had an Emperor's Children army. And I do seem to remember that he had a Dreadnought in his army. Having said that, when I look in the Chaos Codex now, there are no Dreadnoughts, there's only the Helbrute. So it got me thinking so much that I actually went back to an old book that I had. This book here, which is the 2004 catalogue. In actual fact, if you flick through the pages of this to the Chaos section, you will come across a Chaos Space Marine Dreadnought. So there has been a Dreadnought in the past. In actual fact, that one's painted like a Night Lord's one. But of course, that isn't in the current codex. So maybe we just had a name change. I'm not really sure. If you know, let me know in the comments box below, because I would like to find out a bit more about this. It's very, very interesting. However, we do only have the Helbrute, and I want to have a quick look at its codex entry to see what it's all about, because I have to be honest, I haven't heard that great things about the Helbrute. So I have the codex here to have a quick look at the stats. The first thing that I've noticed is there's a uber amount of weapon options for this guy, so I'm definitely going to be looking for some feedback from you, please. But yeah, stat wise, let's have a quick look. Now, bearing in mind, as a Xenos player, I don't really know the stats of an 8th edition Dreadnought and normal Dreadnoughts. But the Helbrute here can move 8 inches, which seemed pretty decent. He's got a weapon skill and a ballistic skill of 3+, which you would expect. He's strength 6, which I'm assuming if you take sort of close combat weapons, you can double the strength. And then he's toughness 7, which is that sort of awkward toughness, because it's quite nice against the normal guns, but as soon as you get to sort of plasma guns or better, it can get damaged quite quickly, so it needs a decent amount of wounds. And looking at the wounds, 8 wounds, which means that if he gets hit by a couple of las cannons, which can do d6 damage, he could potentially go down quite easily. He's leadership 8 with a 3+ save. Of course, he's got the mark of chaos, so he's going to have a 6+ feel no pain effectively. So yeah, I can see why people aren't raving about him as such. But I'm assuming that a normal Space Marine Dreadnought suffers with the same stat line as this. So in terms of weapon options, like I said, there are a load of weapon options. So the model may replace his multi-melter with a second Helbrute fist, a twin-linked heavy bolter, a twin las cannon, a Helbrute plasma cannon, a Reaper autocannon, may replace the Helbrute's fist with a missile launcher, may replace a Helbrute's fist with a Helbrute hammer or power scourge, This model may incorporate combi bolters or heavy flamers into each of his power fists. I'm not going to talk about points here. I'm not going to go over the different stat lines of those weapons. What I'm hoping though is that some of you guys that play Hellbrutes or Dreadnoughts can maybe advise me on what the best loadout would be for this guy. He does have the crazed ability, so if he takes an unsaved wound or a mortal wound, interestingly, you roll a dice and on a 6 he gets crazed, and basically he can either shoot or he can assault as if it was your turn. Which is quite a nice one, although it's only 1 in 6 chance. Of course he explodes. He does have battering onslaught, so you can increase his attacks to 5 if you take 2 melee weapons. Interestingly, he's classed as a vehicle, not a monstrous creature. So yeah, loads and loads of weapon options. Now my models are from the Dark Vengeance box set, so I have those sort of fixed arms. I am of course open for conversions, so if you let me know on what you think would be the best weapon options to take, I would really appreciate it. As well as converting the weapon options, I'm going to add like tentacles to this guy. I'm going to add chains, maybe like some organ funnels on the backs and stuff. Things will be a lot of fun. As I said, I've got 3 of them. I'm going to use at least 2 in my army, probably put all 3 in anyway as I've got them, but I really need to know how to arm them up. So please put your comments below. I look forward to reading them. Beam me up.